Jacqueline Job. Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Are you ready to be transformed? I'm here to uplift, encourage, motivate, and inspire. Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Job.
Good morning, everyone. I hope that you are having a great morning today. I want to thank you for tuning into Empowering Others to Excel. I am your empowerment strategist, Jacqueline Jobs. Thank you for those who are tuning in live right now on WMEG Radio, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. If you have not subscribed, liked, or followed on my pages, please go and do so at this time. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, let's jump into our topic today. Today, our topic is old things have passed away, all things have become new. Now, if you know, you know. Old things have passed away and all things have become new. Now, with this topic today, we're going to be talking into stepping into our new mindsets, our goals, healings, opportunities, aspiration, dreams, all of those things that you have desired for this new year. We're going to talk about how you can accomplish those things. So when I talk about or when I hear old things have passed away and behold, all things have become new, that one thing I have to realize is that this is not something that is spontaneous. Suddenly, it just happens overnight. No, this is not something that happens overnight. No, this is not an easy process. But the thing is, we want to become that person that we desire to be. We want to become that person that we desire to be. So we're going to put in that work to become that person. So that is what we're going to be talking about today, putting in the work. And now we're already in the second week of January. So the question I have for you right now is, what work have you put in? What work have you put in? It's the second week of January. What work have you put in? It's the second week of January. How do you feel? How do you feel? Because for me, I have already put some things in action. I put some plans and strategies out there, and I already got overwhelmed. The first week in January, and I was like, oh my goodness. Like, can this possibly happen? Can these things that I want, can I obtain them? Can I reach them? But now you have to remember when you are setting this course, you are creating this action plan. You have to remember this is a work in progress. It is a work in progress. So this is not going to be a overnight hit it, win the jackpot. This is not that. This is you are putting in the work to become that person that you desire, that person that you have been longing to be. Because you reflected on last year, you know those things that happened last year, and now you're like, okay, I got a game plan for this year. So now that's what we're talking about when we say old things have passed away, and behold, all things are becoming new. Old things are gone. They happened, they're in the past. We're not dwelling on them. Now we're going to focus on the new and what we are becoming. What are we becoming? So hopefully you asked yourself that question already. You asked yourself, what are you becoming? What is it that you desire? What is it that you want? How do you want your life to change? How do you want to grow from this day forward? I hope you asked yourself that question already and didn't just roll into the new year like, okay, it's just another day. No, it's another day to be better. That's what you need to look at it as. It's another day to be better. It's just not another day. It's another day that you get to walk this earth, that you get to live, you get to learn, you get to accomplish something, you get to enjoy life. So I need you to think about that. What are you becoming? What is it that you desire? What is it that you want? Those who are in the chat, I see you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Drop it in the chat. What are you becoming? What is it that you want to obtain this year? Drop it in the chat. Let me know. What are you becoming? What do you want to improve about yourself? Did you put some goals in place? Are you working to make yourself better? Did you set new boundaries? Come on, talk to me this morning. Share those things with us this morning. Because the one thing I want you to remember is new does not mean instant. This is not an instantaneous thing that's going to happen. We're going to put in the work. We're going to put in the work to become this new individual, to become this better individual. So I hope that you all are feeling this today. Now, the one thing I wanted to talk about first off, discipline, becoming disciplined and consistent, becoming disciplined and consistent. Because a lot of times we say we want this for ourselves, but we're not disciplined enough to maintain what we start. So we need to understand what it is and what it means to be disciplined. So that means when you're going to become disciplined on something, the first thing I want you to do is start small. Start small because it's almost like you're psyching yourself out. You start small, you accomplish a task. Right then and there, you're like, oh my goodness, I can do this. Yes. So that is what I want you to do. It builds consistency. It builds consistency. When you begin with an easy task, you start small. Because once you accomplish that task, that momentum starts to grow. And you're like, oh my goodness, I can do this. Like, yes. So I want you to start small. Begin with easy tasks. Build that discipline. Because when you're building the discipline, that means that you're going to create habits. You're going to form habits that after a while, it's just going to become regular daily routines and processes and steps. But first, in your mind, you have to establish those routines. You have to establish those routines, and you need to be consistent with those routines. And the more you're being consistent with those routines, you're becoming disciplined. And after a while, you're not even going to realize it's like you're not even going to have to make the effort to do it. It's just going to be like clockwork. This is what I did. And that is when you know you have become disciplined in that thing. So first thing for foundational steps for becoming disciplined, begin with easy tasks. Why? Because it builds consistency. Set clear goals. Set clear goals. We talk about this all the time. Set them SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Set clear goals. So for example, a goal for me is I want to build strength in my body. That is a goal for me. I am being specific. So I'm not just saying I'm going to exercise. No, I want to obtain more strength in my body. That is being specific. What is it? Specific. Now, measurable. How am I going to how I'm going to measure this? I am going to start walking every day for 30 minutes. That is how I'm going to measure it. So specific, I am going to create more strength in my body. Measurable, how am I going to measure this out? I am going to start walking every day for 30 minutes. Achievable, this is when you have to stop and think, can I achieve this? Can I do this? For me, that means, do I have 30 minutes that I can carve out? Do I have 30 minutes that I can carve out? And yes, I have 30 minutes that I can carve out. So it might not be every day, but I have 30 minutes. So that means I might need to go back to my measurable and identify I'm going to walk 30 minutes. When? And then for relevant, is this relevant to my life? Me doing this, strengthening my body, walking for 30 minutes, is it relevant to my life? Yes, it's relevant to my life because I need to get in shape. I need to get the extra weight off of me. I need to tone my body. I need to be off of blood pressure medicine. So all of this is relevant to my life. So I need this. So guess what? Since I need this, I'm going to do this. And then time bound. You need to set a time that you are expecting to be able to accomplish this task, or at least come back to it and reflect to see if it's working out for you. So for me, I am going to set for right now 30 days. 30 days. So that means in 30 days, after I track what I've been doing, I'm going to go back and I'm going to see, I'm going to take a strength test. And I'm going to see, is the strength building in my body, is it increasing? I'm going to also check to see if there are other health benefits that I see are happening because I am walking for 30 minutes. And then I'm going to reevaluate it. Do I need to increase my walking time? Do I need to add on some other strength building techniques, lifting weights, something? And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to reset it again and start again. So that is what you need to do for setting clear goals. Being specific, make sure that they are measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And when you say achievable, can you obtain it? Can you do it? Next one is create routines and plans. Create routines and plans. And you don't want to create a routine and plan to the point that you create your whole day and then there's no wiggle room for you to do other things. No, it's just certain things. Like, for example, if you know that you go to the market every week, create a schedule. I'm going to go on this day. I'm going to go on this day at this time. And this is how you will become disciplined in doing your marketing, or at least setting the time, because marketing is a whole thing. Going get the sales, coupons, whatever it is that you do, that's a whole thing. Going to different stores, but just as far as making sure you go on that day, so that way you're not in the middle of the week like, I don't have this, I don't have that. Oh, I didn't go to the market. I didn't make time to go to the market. I got too busy. I didn't go to the market. So no, set routines. So if you know you go to the market once a week, pick a day, pick a time, and make sure you stick to that day and time. This is the day and the time that I go to the market. So make sure I plan around it and do not schedule anything else on top of it. Why? Because that means somewhere in the middle of the week, you're going to be running around like, oh my goodness, I don't have this and I need to go to the market. And if you're like me, once you finish running around for the day and you get in the house, you don't want to leave again. You don't want to leave again. So it's like making sure that you have all of your things that you need before that appointed time comes. So once again, for those who are just tuning in, good morning, good morning, good morning. We are talking about old things are passed away. Behold, we are making all things new. Who are you becoming in this year of 2026? Who are you becoming? What is it that you're desiring for yourself and those different outcomes? That is what we're talking about right now. And we're talking about becoming disciplined. Becoming disciplined. And when you become disciplined, it just means that you are creating a schedule, a routine that it becomes more accustomed to you to do every day. Good morning, Tammy. It becomes more accustomed to you doing every day. And that is the thing. Becoming disciplined is kind of hard sometimes, especially if you're a person who just wants to get up and go. And you just know you got a list, you got to get up and go. But you need to become disciplined. You need to become aware of your time management. You need to become aware of your schedule. Because I can look at my phone right now because I keep the calendars in my phone and I can pull it up and I can look and see on this day I got this, and this. And then on the next day I got this, and this. But after I put it inside my phone, I forget about it. I forget about it until my phone send me a reminder. And it's like, oh yeah, I got that. So you have to become disciplined and more aware of your time management, of the things that you have scheduled. And then that way you'll be able to build your world around those things. And those things will not overwhelm you. Because that's the problem with me sometimes. I put it in my phone, I forget it. And then when it reminds me, it's like, oh my goodness, wait a minute, I gotta do this, and then I gotta do this. But no, if you are aware of these things, you're building your world or your life around those things. It's not something that's going to catch you off guard and then cause you to be flustered, panicking, and running around trying to scrounge and get things together. So that is one thing that you need to be able to do for becoming disciplined. So the foundational steps for becoming disciplined, we already talked about. Begin with easy tasks. Start with an easy task because it builds your confidence. It kind of tricks your psyche into thinking, oh yeah, I can do this, even though we're going to say we can do this anyway. Even if it's a task we don't think that we're going to be able to conquer it, oh, I'm going to do this, or at least I'm going to try to do this. But if you start out with easy tasks and then you build upon those, you're becoming disciplined. Set clear goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Create routines and plans. So if you know you go to the market once a week, schedule that day in, schedule that time in, and make sure you hit it on that day and time. Next one is eliminate temptations. Eliminate temptations. And this is one that's good because sometimes we allow things to distract us and it takes away from our time, and especially when it's not benefiting us. And the one thing I tried to do last week, and for the most part, last week I did good until about the weekend. I avoided scrolling unnecessarily on Facebook. Because once you start scrolling, you can sit there for you can say I'm gonna save it 5 minutes, and next thing you know, you look up 30 minutes that went past. And it's like, oh my goodness, I could have been doing this. I was supposed to be doing this. And it's like, what happened? You just got lost in this world. So that is one thing. Eliminate distractions, remove distractions. Now I use Facebook for like my business for the most part. I go on there, I advertise things, I put things to encourage, motivate, and uplift people. And I put things on there for educational for parents and things of that nature. But then every now and then there are certain channels that I enjoy watching. It's like my downtime, my woosah moments. Like, let me get this in. I need a little break. Let me look at this real quick. But then once you look at that, you have to be disciplined enough to get off of the phone. And that's the problem. A lot of us are not disciplined enough to get off the phone. We sit and we watch that channel, we watch that movie that comes up, depending on what it is. And then after it's done, we just start scrolling. And we're scrolling and we're on the phone like, oh, wait a minute. What's going on here? Oh, you get comfortable, you start leaning back in a chair. Next thing you know, 30 minutes and went by, an hour went by, and then you look up like, oh my goodness, what happened? So we have to become disciplined in those things. I'm not saying you have to cut out those things completely, but you have to become disciplined. No, set a time limit. This is a time limit that I'm giving to this, and then I'm moving on. So if you have a guilty pleasure, whatever that guilty pleasure is, you need to set some kind of boundaries for that guilty pleasure. So that guilty pleasure is not overtaking you. So that is what I'm talking about by eliminating temptations. Now, the next one is mindset and practice. The whole thing is willpower. We have to have that willpower. We have to have that inner strength that is within us, that is going to make us do, that is going to make us go, that is going to make us move. And in order for us to have that willpower, guess what? We have to desire it. We have to desire what it is that we want. So if you're just going to sit and say, I want this, and then there's no real meaning behind it, guess what? You're not going to get it. You're not going to obtain it. You're not even going to work for it. So whatever it is that you are trying to become, whatever it is that you want, you have to make sure that it is something that you desire. It is like a must have for you. Because that way, that discipline will fall in place. That willpower will be there. Your mindset will be focused on this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do to get it. And let's do this thing. So that is what I want for us. Now, I want you to all think about obtaining and creating a new mindset. Obtaining and creating a new mindset. When we do this, you can't go into your new holding on to the old. We talked about this. You know this. We all understand it. You can't do it. So when you're obtaining your new mindset, this is talking about being aware of first you foremost. You have to be aware of you, the things that you like, the things that you dislike, the things that you want to improve about yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses. You have to be aware of it. And then in the process of you being aware of it, you have to actually be able to verbalize it and say, yep, this is me. This is me. Just like they have I don't know what the jargon is, the meme, the video out, and it's like, yep, this is my man. I'm going to stand beside him. You have to be able to acknowledge this is me. Yep, this is me, and I'm going to stand with this is me. You have to be able to acknowledge that. And then once you acknowledge that and you're self-aware about yourself, then you need to become more aware of your surroundings, the people who you have in your circle. The people who you have in your circle, are these people that you want to continue to have in your circle? Are they building you up? Or are they people who you had in your past and they're living in your past, but you're moving to your future? When changing your mindset, you have to be able to replace the lies with the truth. Replace the lies with the truth. Now, this is something that we all need to work on because there are lies that we tell ourselves on a daily basis. And we need to realize that these are lies. These are words that were spoken over us by people who didn't know better, or by people who wanted to control and manipulate us, by people who wanted to keep us down, by people who they were brought up the same way where somebody poured the lies onto them and they didn't know any better. So they poured the lies onto you. And now it's just continuing. It's a cycle that's continuing over and over again. And now we're sitting here with all of these misconceptions about ourselves and the world around us because we were lied to. So we have to be able to identify the lies that were told to us, the lies that we told ourselves, and we have to replace them with the truth. Because, like, if you were in a household and they told you you were a good for nothing, that is a lie. So now you need to be able to replace that with the truth. You need to be able to understand your value. What do you bring to the table? You need to be able to understand that. And once you understand that, you are going to break that lie from over you. If you have a lie over you that said that, I don't know, you're not going to be a good parent, you're not going to be a good wife, you're not going to be a good husband, you're not going to be a good this or that. It's a lie. You need to find that truth and break that lie from over you. Break that hold, that bond from over you. Because when people speak those things, it sticks with you. And then it comes back later on to haunt you. And then you start thinking, oh, yeah, no, we're not doing that this year. We're going to bring truth into it. Remove the lie and we're going to bring truth into it. Just like people who say, this is just how I am. No, this is not just how you are. You need to identify why you are like this. And then if you don't want to be like that, you need to work on being better. So no, we're not going to stick with the same old words that come out of our mouth, same old excuses. Nope, because we have a new mindset. We're renewing our mind daily. We have a new mindset. And with this, I want you to think about growth over comfort, growth over comfort. Just like when we grow out of our clothes. Our clothes get too small. The sleeves start rolling all the way up. Pants start going all the way up your leg. Or you just start getting bigger and you can't fit into them at all. So I need you to think about that for growth. You are growing. When you are growing, sometimes it is not comfortable, but you want that growth anyway. You want to obtain that growth. So guess what? You're going to have to get out of that comfortable zone. You're going to have to move into some areas that in your life are going to feel a little bit hard, but you got this. You got everything that you need to get through this. So you have to remember that. Now, I want somebody to put in the chat, what mindset are you leaving behind? What mindset are you leaving behind? Or what lie are you leaving behind? Just drop it in there. What lie are you leaving behind? What mindset are you leaving behind? So we're not going to sit and think about ourselves in a lowly manner. We're not going to sit. We're going to think that we can obtain what it is that we desire. Whatever we put our hands to, we're going to believe that we can obtain it. We're going to believe that whatever opportunity we are seeking, if we work hard enough and we push ourselves, that we can obtain it. Whatever goals, we're going to make it. We're going to make it this year. We might have some hiccups along the way, but we're going to make it. At the end of the year, we're going to have some great success stories. Before the end of the year, we're going to have some great success stories because everything does not wait till the end of the year. Somebody might have some things that they already started working on that in the next month or so, it's going to come to fruition. So these things I want you to be encouraged about. Be encouraged about. Do not let that light diminish. That hope that you have, don't let it diminish. Because I can already say the first week of January has been a doozy for me. Has been a doozy for me, but it allowed my mind to refocus. It allowed me to refocus and it brought back some understanding of why it is that I do what I do. It gave me some clarity because it was a doozy. And I was in there like, whoa. Yeah, and I was like, whoa. It was just one of those, whoa, whoa, like, what the world? Yes. But I gained a lot of clarity from it. I gained a lot of clarity from it. I got some revelation from it. And then it was like, it gave me that unction to keep going. So I'm like, already, if I know that I was getting this at the beginning of the year, my year is going to be great. And that's what I want everybody to say. My year is going to be great. My year is going to be great. There is going to be overflow. There are going to be blessings upon blessings. I want you to say that my year is going to be great. My year is going to be great. Yeah. There's some mistakes in there, but there it is. I put it out there. My year is going to be great. That is what I want you all to say and put out there. Your year is going to be great. No matter the stumbling blocks, the hiccups that come, your year is going to be great. Now, what we have to do in order to receive this greatness that's coming this year, address resistance, because there is going to be resistance. There's going to be resistance on every hand. When you move forward in life, when you're trying to obtain, when you're trying to receive things, there is going to be resistance and you're going to feel it and you're just going to be like, what? And it's going to make you take a step back. It's going to make you take a step back and then you're going to have to stop and think like, you're going to be like, is this for me? Yes, it's for you. This is just resistance. Because a lot of things, I can put this out there. A lot of people, we pray for things, but then we struggle to receive it. We pray for things, we struggle to receive it. We work on things and we want to obtain it, but then we struggle to obtain it. Why? Because it's either guilt in there, there's some shame in there, fear of disappointment is in there, familiar pains are there. You feel like it's safe to be where you are instead of continuing in that process because you don't want those pains to come back. You don't want to feel that hurt that you felt before. You don't want to relive these moments. So there is going to be resistance, but you need to understand that in your growth process, you're going to have to tackle some areas. You're going to have to tackle some areas that you thought were dead and buried because you have to understand why your thinking is the way it is. You have to understand why you move the way you move. Why do you act the way you act, speak the way you speak? So in the process of your growth, there are times and moments that are going to come up that are going to make you stop and think and go, oh, you're not going to want to rehash it, but in the process of you rehashing it, you're going to go, this is why. Oh my goodness, this is why. And then once you have that moment, you need to realize what it was, and then how are you going to build on it to change? So in those moments of growth, there will be resistance. In those moments of growth, there will be resistance. But are we going to stop? No, we're not going to stop. Are we going to turn back? No, we're not going to turn back. Why? Because we want this for ourselves. We want this for ourselves. The person that we are becoming, we want it. So we're not going to let that guilt from the past, the shame from the past, the doubt, the fears, the anger from the past, we're not going to let that stop us. We're going to continue to push forward. Because one thing about it is, in the process of you moving forward, there's going to be healing. There's going to be healing, and you need to be able to receive it. And in order for you to receive that healing and that growth, we're moving forward, you have to be open. You have to be open about things. I'm not asking you to be perfect because nobody's perfect. So don't strive to be perfect. You're going to frustrate yourself. You're going to annoy yourself and you're going to disappoint yourself. So do not strive to be perfect. But I do need you to be open to new ideas. I need you to be open to new ideas. And then I need you to be open with yourself as far as what it is that is going on with you and how much you are willing to share to get that healing that you need, to get that momentum, to get that push that you need. You have to be open with it because the more you are closed off, that growth is not going to go but so far. It's not going to go but so far. You're going to feel the momentum. You're going to see some movement, but then it's going to stop. Why? Because you're not being open about it. You're not being truthful about some things. You're not seeing it from other people's perspective, other people's sides. You want to stay in that box and you want to be comfortable. So I need you to be open. And then in the process of being open, you have to trust. It is an act of trust. You have to be able to trust. Trust the path that you are on. Trust yourself that you are capable of doing this. Trust those around you, not everybody. Not everybody, but trust those faithful few that you have, your accountability partners, your support system. Trust them to be able to carry you through those spots where you feel as though you can't make it. Trust them with your feelings. Trust them with your emotions. Trust them to understand and be able to support you and give you what it is that you need. And the one thing I need you to understand is that you do not earn healing, you accept it. You don't earn healing, you accept it. And with this, I want you to think about it, because when we were in school back in the day, when you did a good job, a teacher gave you a sticker and you loved them stickers. Put them on your notebook, you put them on your forehead, put them on your clothes, wherever it was. You collected them stickers and you were proud because you got them stickers. You earned a sticker. But you don't earn healing, you accept it. And what I mean by that is while you're going through your journey, you're going through your daily life and you're growing and you're improving. And in the process of you growing and improving, something happens and you're like, oh my goodness, I've changed. There was some growth and you realize it. In the process of that, you accepted the healing. So say, for example, if I'm going to say you were a bitter person, people annoyed you. You didn't like being around people based on things that happened to you in your past. And you judged everybody the same based on what happened to you in your past. And now all of a sudden you're branching out. You're going to do different things and you're realizing like, oh, this was in my past. This is not right now what's going on in my future. This person is completely different from that person in my past. And so now you're starting to blossom, you're starting to grow, you're starting to let people in. Guess what? You have accepted the healing. You have accepted the healing. In the process of accepting the healing, you have to see things differently. You have to do things differently. So it's not like oh, heal me, I'm healed. You have to accept it, accept it. In the process of accepting the healing, you have to change, you have to receive things, you have to understand things, change perspective, change thinking, mindset shift, all of that in order for you to obtain the healing. So that is one thing I want you to remember. I want you to remember. So now for those who are on, drop in the chat, what is something that you are resisting because it feels unfamiliar? Something that you are resisting, something that you want, but you're resisting. It's like, oh, it's like I want to, but because you're going into unfamiliar territory. You're going into unfamiliar territory and you don't know quite what to do. And in the process of you not knowing quite what to do, it is causing you to just say, forget it altogether. So what is it? It's something that you are resisting because of the unfamiliar, that you don't want to resist, because you want to move forward. So I want you to drop that in the chat. And while you're dropping that in the chat, we're going to talk about building the new goals, aspirations, and purpose. Building the new goals, aspiration, and purpose. So for this, that means you're moving from I believe I can do it to I am going to do it. You're moving from I believe to I am. So you're moving into the action stage. Because you said it already, you want to do it, but now you're moving into the action stage. And with this action stage, you need to make sure that you're identifying, you have clarity on it, you're creating discipline, and you have patience. Those are the three things. while you're moving into this action stage, you need to have clarity on what it is that you are pursuing, what it is that you are seeking. Then you need to create a routine, some kind of regimen to become disciplined in receiving it. So, for example, say you want to go back to school. You want to go back to school. So you already said, I want to go back to school. Now you're actually acting on it. You're searching different schools, or you're actually applying for a school. You know what it is that you want to obtain. You're applying for a school. So now you have done that. You have made that action step. You have done that first action step. So now in the process of doing that, you get admitted. So now guess what? You're in school. So now you have to create that discipline because you're in school now. Guess what? That is going to take up some of your time that you used to have. Because now that you're in school, you have to put some studying in. You have to go to the classes. You have to turn either online or you have to actually go into the building. You got to do it. You have to study. You have to do whatever homework assignments, projects, all of those things. You have to make time for all of those things. So now you have to become disciplined in that area. So that doesn't mean, oh, I'm just going to wait till I get the assignment and try to figure out. No, you have to start your schedule now. Create your schedule. If you're in school, what days are you going to set aside for you to study? Around what time are you going to be set aside to do your homework assignments? Because depending upon what classes you're taking in courses, especially if you have the courses that are online and you have to sit and do your assignment, then after you do your assignment, you have to go back and respond to 2 or 3 of your peers. And then you got to remember to go back and respond because if not, it makes your grade go down. So you have to be disciplined and set a schedule. Set a schedule saying, I'm going to study on this day. I'm going to sit down and do the assignments on this day. I'm going to make sure that by Thursday, I'm going to go back and respond to all of my peers. So that way by Friday, I know the assignment's completely done. You have to become disciplined. That means you have to set up some kind of routine and you need to stick to it. So that is something that you have to do when moving forward. And whatever it is that you are trying to obtain, become disciplined in it. Create a routine. Make sure you're clear on what it is that you are seeking, what it is that you're trying to obtain. Make sure you understand all of the things that go into it. So, like, for example, when I'm talking to you about being clear, it makes me think about when you apply for a new job and they give you, especially if you're doing it online, they have the job descriptions and they tell you the job summary. They want you to do all of these things. So you know before you sit and say, yes, I want this job, let me click on this button, apply. The job summary, you read over it. You got to be able to do this. And then these are your qualifications. And then you be like, okay, do I want it, yay or nay? So that's how it is for clarity on what it is that you're trying to obtain. You need to know exactly the description. What is it that you're trying to obtain? How can you go about getting those things that you're trying to obtain? Then you need to understand what are some qualifications that you need, what are some strengths that you may have, what are some weaknesses that you may have. You need to be able to understand all of those things. So that is what it's talking about when it says clarity. So there is your clarity. We talked about being disciplined, set the routines. Set the routines, be consistent with those routines. And then you have to have patience. You have to have patience. Patience, 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 patience. So if you know for a fact that you are not a person that has patience, you need to work on it. You need to work on it because you are going to become frustrated. You're going to become frustrated and then you're going to start to feel overwhelmed because you want things to happen when you want them to happen. So you need to be able to have patience. So clarity, discipline, and patience. Now, this is one thing I need you to remember. Do not self-sabotage yourself. Do not self-sabotage yourself. And when I say this, I mean, do not enter into something that you want. And then once you start working in it, you go, do I really want this? You know what? I can do this and just be just fine. Because you know, when you start self-sabotaging yourself, that's because either fear has crept in, you're becoming afraid, or you're really good at it. And you're afraid of success. Because then it's like, if success comes and you succeed in this, then what next? So please do not self-sabotage yourself. I want you to go throughout this year becoming the person that you want. I want you to be able to say what it is that you want, see it, visualize it, and then I want you to work towards it. I don't want you to start speaking over yourselves and causing yourself to doubt what it is. That is not what we're going to walk into in 2026. We're going to walk with confidence in 2026. We're going to be brave in 2026. We're going to do things that we did not do before, things that we thought we couldn't do before. We're going to do those things this year and prove to ourselves that we can do those things, that we are capable. So that is what I want you to think about. And then on top of all of that, I want you to create boundaries. Boundaries. We must have boundaries. We have to have boundaries. In this new season that you are going through, you need to create boundaries. And in these boundaries, it does not always have to be dealing with relationships and people. It can be boundaries as far as work experience, what it is that you're going to do as far as working. So I can say, for example, when I was teaching, I did not set boundaries as far as my time. And you know your time is valuable. And I did not set any boundaries. So I got to work. School started at 8 o'clock. Teachers had to be there like at 7:45. And in my new phase, when I first started, it was like, yeah, okay, I got there at 7:45, whatever. But then after a while, when I started getting into my tenure years, it was like, oh, I'm going to put in this work. I'm going to do this. But I still was not respecting my time because I was giving the school system all my time. And then I was exhausted at the end of the day. So I wasn't setting boundaries because school started at 8 o'clock. I then had to be there at 6:45. I was at work by 6:30. I was at work by 6:30, making sure my room was set up, all of those things. And then the problem with that was people were like, that's not a problem. No, it's not a problem. But the problem was school got out at 2:15. Why am I still at school at 4 o'clock? Why am I still there at 4 o'clock? And then I'm a salary worker on top of that. So they're not giving me overtime. Why am I still there? I needed to understand my time was valuable and I needed to set boundaries. Just you want to be excellent at your job. And that was my thing. I wanted to be excellent at my job, but to what expense? At what cost to yourself? At what cost? So you need to be understand, like if you're going to be there early enough to do all of these things early in the day, you don't have to be there late. So pick and choose which one you're going to do. That is setting a boundary. Pick and choose. You're either going to be there early or you're going to be there late. Not both. Because during that time of you being there early and being there late, you could have took that time for yourself to recharge your battery. But instead, you're leaving work late and you're getting home, you're exhausted, depleted. All you have time to do is eat some food, lay down, go to sleep, and then start the day again. And that was my problem. So I had to learn to set boundaries. I'm not in that system anymore. But back then I should have set some boundaries. I think I learned by the last year. But by that time I was done because I was already burnt out. But yes. Okay, I was reading the comments and horrendous karaoke said, consider learning about keto. This diet involves a zero of low carb diet. Okay. So when I was talking about strengthening my body. So yes. So I need to look into those things too, because at one point I did the 300 calories diet where you did 300 calories a meal. At one point I became really good at it, but then once you stop, you stop. So yes, I will look into that. Thank you. So I want you to remember that for setting boundaries. New season requires new boundaries. So you need to make sure that you set those boundaries. If you're setting those boundaries with your job, you're setting those boundaries with your family, setting those boundaries with your kids, your future spouse, whoever it may be, make sure you set those boundaries. Because especially when it comes to family, some of you have families where you're always in close vicinity with them. Y'all always going out, y'all always doing this, you're always celebrating every birthday together. You need to set those boundaries. If you know that you're a person and your social, I don't know what you want to call it, your social battery drains very quickly, but yet you continue to continue to do all of these things, and then you're exhausted afterwards, you need to set some boundaries. I can attend this one, but I can't attend this one. Set some boundaries. Because the whole thing about becoming this year is that we are making sure we take care of ourselves first in the process. Because a lot of times we take care of everybody else. I'm laughing because I just heard my husband just say this to me the other day. And I'm telling you all this. He was like, you do for everybody else and you sacrifice for everybody else, but when are you going to take time for yourself? So yes, it just hit me. It hit me. So yes, we always doing for everybody else, but in this year, we're going to make sure that we take care of ourselves first. We're going to put ourselves first and foremost. First and foremost. And then guess what? When we take care of ourselves, other things are just going to flow. Other things are just going to flow. And people are going to realize, like, oh, you're doing this differently because I'm recharged. I'm recharged. I have energy. I'm alive. I'm not trying to do this for you and I'm drained. Because even my kids sometimes they look at me like, are you okay? And I'm like, yes, I'm okay. And I'm like, no, in my head, like, I need a nap. I need a nap. So, yes, make sure this year you are focusing on you. You are doing things for yourself in the process of becoming and obtaining those things that you so desire. Make sure you have that support system around you that you can reach out to when you need to, that accountability partner that's going to hold you accountable for those tasks that you have set for yourself. And then in the process, I want you to also think back and try to figure out who benefited from the old version of you. Who benefited from the old version of you? This is dealing with your support system, your accountability partners, the people that you have in your circle. Who benefited from the old version of you? And then what is it that you want the new version of you to look like? And if people are to be in that circle, what are they receiving from you? What can you receive from them? That is what I want you to think about for this. So make sure that the environment that you are in is an environment that is producing life. Make sure it is an environment that is producing life. It is pushing your growth, your mission, your agenda. Because you cannot stay in an environment where it keeps bringing up the old. It keeps rehashing the old when you're trying to move into a new. Because that's just trying to pour poison in. You're trying to make this new life for yourself, and then you have somebody who continues to bring up that old situation. So you need to be able to be careful about that, be mindful of that. Your support system, the people around you, need to be people who are able to push you to your next. They're in it with you. They want you to win. They want you to succeed. They want to see the new person that you're becoming. They're loving it in the process. And then and the thing about it is, the more that you're becoming, you're inspiring them like, oh, you know what? I want this for myself. I need to set these things in action for myself because I want to obtain this. I want to live this healthy life. I want to be happy. I want to have this joy, this peace. I want that. And that is what the whole goal is. You get it for yourself, and then you're able to help somebody else to get it along the way. Or you just motivating somebody else to get it based off of the life that you're living. So in this season, that is what we want to remember, that old things have passed away. Old things have passed away. We're not carrying those old things with us. We're letting those old things go. And we're focusing on the new. We're focusing on the new. And what is the new? The new is whatever it is that you want it to be. You're creating that new for yourself. Not somebody else telling you, you should do this. You should do this. No, you are creating the new for yourself. What are those things that you so desire? What is it that you are becoming? What is it that you didn't like about yourself and you want to change this year? You can put that in for your new. What are some hurdles that you kept stumbling over last year that you don't want to stumble over this year? So think about that, make it a new, and you do that. So you need to be able to identify that thing. What is it that you are becoming? Identify the new. And then in the process, the whole thing is this year, just don't give up on you. Don't give up on you. Because yes, the whole this whole journey of life can be tiring at times because sometimes you feel like you on repeat, you're doing things over again, you're in the cycle of doing things over again. You start making improvements, and then all of a sudden you feel yourself going over and over again. So it can get tiring, it can get overwhelming, and it can get frustrating. But I want you to not give up on yourself because once you give up on yourself, it is hard to get back into that mindset of, I want to push forward. It takes a whole lot of energy for you to get back that strength and that momentum that you lost when you decided that I'm going to pause on this, that I don't want to do this anymore. And when you try to get back into it, it's going to be even harder. So I don't want you to give up on yourself in this season for 2026. We're starting anew, we're starting afresh. I want you to keep fighting, keep fighting. And then also, for those of you who have created your new plan for yourself, you have created your new plan. You understand what it is that you want, and you are still struggling on how to get there, the steps to get there, on what it is that you should be looking out for. Reach out to me. Email me, Jacqueline Jobs at EOEchangeagent.com. Email me. We can get together. We can have a discussion because I want to be able to help you through this process. I don't want you to feel as though you're alone because some people say, I don't have a support system. Reach out to me. I am here to help you. And then somebody just said, yeah, but there's a cost. Yes, there is a cost. But if you just have a simple question, guess what? I can answer a simple question for you. Everything is not a charge for it. So if you're like, if you ask me a random question, hey, I'm stuck on this. What can I do for this? Bam, I can send you back something. Now, if you need me to sit down and help you to create a plan for your goals and things of that nature, yes, we can sit down, we can meet, we can have that session. But if you just have a random question, hey, Jackie, hey, Jacqueline, I'm stuck with this. What should I do? And I can send you an answer right back. Hey, try this out and see if this works. If we want to just touch bases once a month on something, we can do that. We can set up a plan of action for that. I want to be here to be able to assist you all because everybody needs a support system. So once again, email is Jacqueline Jobs at EOEchangeagent.com. If you go to the Facebook page or if you go to the YouTube page, the information should be there for you. So reach out to me if you need help setting up an action plan, if you need help setting up goals, if you just need somebody to bounce an idea off of, guess what? I am here to assist you. I want us to be prosperous in this year. I want us to be prosperous in this year, at the end of this year, throughout the matter of fact, at the middle of the year, we have our check-ins. I want us to be able to say, guess what? I accept this task. I stayed disciplined. I was consistent. I accomplished it. Now I'm moving on to this. I want to be able to hear those testimonies of how well you were doing, how you were moving forward. I even want to hear, guess what? I stumbled and fell, but I picked myself back up. I brushed off that dirt and I said, oh, I'm not staying here. And I moved forward. I want to be able to hear that from you all. So do not think that you are in this alone. And no, I am not doing this to be nosy. That's not me. I don't like carrying other people's burdens. So that is definitely not me. I'm going to help and assist you to move forward. And that is what I'm doing. So once again, if you need me, reach out to me, Jacqueline Jobs at EOEchangeagent.com. I am here to assist you. Now, the thing that I want to leave you with before we end today, it's just a declaration. This is a declaration just to seal our moving forward, setting our actions for 2026, becoming the person that we want to become. I want you to say this: I am not who I used to be. I am becoming who I am called to be. I release the old. I receive the new. I am committing to build the work that I put my hands to. See, that was easy. That was easy. Now, remember that the new doesn't mean that it's going to be easy, but saying that was easy. The new doesn't mean it's going to be easy. You have to put in the work. It just means that it is possible. The new means that it is possible. What you are becoming and what you want to become, it is a possible. It is within your reach. You just have to stay consistent. You have to be consistent. You have to be disciplined. So I thank you all for tuning in today to Empowering Others to Excel. I hope that this session was beneficial to you. I hope that you received something that was going to trigger you to move, to act, to do, to become the new you. If you would like to partner with Empowering Others to Excel today so that we can continue to uplift, motivate, encourage, inspire, and educate others, please feel free to do so. You may do so at for Cash App at EOE Change Agent. Cash App $ EOE Change Agent. Once again, I thank you all for tuning in. My WMEG, let me get that right. My WMEG listeners, I thank you for tuning in. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in and joining me in the chats. I just hope that you all have a blessed rest of your week, and I will see you next week. Coming up next are the pros and cons of human nature with your host, Nikki. So I want you all to be blessed. I want you all to be blessed. I want you all to be blessed. All right. So y'all have a good day.